Welcome to Neo Royal House of Pricey Cardboard and to our episode 8 of Commander gameplay. I'm starting to run low on filmed games, but I still have a couples left. For today's game, me, Kelly and Hugo battled it out in a 3-player game with Atraxa, Yarok and Maelstrom Wanderer, 3 very powerful commanders. My Atraxa deck is a +1/+1 tribal deck where this heavy creature list aims to generate massive creatures and take advantage of Atraxa proliferate triggers and multiple keywords. I run 2 planeswalkers as they are too good to pass with doubling season, Mathieu Field Researcher and Yarok Primal Hunter. Kelly's Yarok deck is a bit of a good stuff permanent deck. It got enters the battlefield ability, landfall triggers and a little bit of bounce and flickers. The signature kill move of this deck is to cast a Dire Fleet Ravager to lower every player health and follow it up with a Gary for a table kill. Hugo's Maelstrom Wanderer deck is a Timur Dragon Tribal. Granting these red and green flying creatures haste is really powerful, and having blue gives great control magic, some top deck manipulation, and a Sarkhan planeswalker that can cheat every dragon to the battlefield. Hugo's starting hand contains Territorial Elkite, Gruul Signet, Trend Dynamo, Unclaimed Territory, and a basic forest. My starting hand contains Scavenging Ooze, Heroic Intervention, Command Tower, Oran Reef, Glacial Fortress, Path of Ancestry, and a basic island. Kelly's starting hand contains Genesis Wave, Expedition Map, Wood Elves, Sunken Hollow, Ash Barrens, and a basic island. I win the contest of the most popular commander on EDH rec and start this off. I'll land drop a Path of Ancestry and pass. Hugo land drops a basic mountain and pass. Kelly land drops a basic forest and basic land cycle or Ash Barren for a basic swamp. I then land drop my Oran Reef tapped and basic land cycle my own Ash Barren for a basic forest. Hugo land drops a forest, he follow it up with a Gruul Signet and pass. Kelly land drops a basic island and cast an expedition map ending our turn. I land drop a basic island and cast a Scavenging Ooze. I then activate Oran Reef to add a counter to my ooze and end my turn. Hugo land drops an unclaimed territory, naming dragons. He follow it up with a Sky Shroud claim, fetching Breeding Pool and Cinder Glade to his battlefield. He ships the turn to Kelly. Kelly land drops a Sunken Hollow and casts a Kodoma's Reach, fetching a forest and an island. With nothing more, we head into turn 4. I land drop a Command Tower and cast the terrifying Corpse Jack Menace. I then go to combat. I send my Scavenging Ooze to Hugo for 3 points of damage. I then end my turn. Hugo casts a Trend Dynamo. He follow it up with a Territorial Elkite who's ready to deal some damage. Hugo goes to combat and Kelly gets chosen by the random dragon. She then untaps and then drops a basic forest. She casts her commander. She then pass. I then drop a Glacial Fortress. Paying 1 of each of my colors, I cast a Crystalline Crawler. His Sunburst ability gives it 4 counters, which are doubled to 8. Value. I use this mana to cast my commander.
It's not a goal, but a process. The process of creating the perfect Phyrexia.
I then tap my Oran Reef, 4 counters on Atraxa, and going to my end step, I proliferate. Hugo then drops a basic forest and casts his commander.
As the shards merged into the Maelstrom, their mana energies fused into new monstrosities.
Not bad for a starting hand with 5 cards and 2 lands. He cascades into Riverberade and then Rashmi, Eternity's Crafter. Rashmi resolves first and Riverberade goes to the graveyard for having no valid target. He then goes to combat and sends his commander to Kelly and the Territorial Elkite to me. I block with my commander and Hugo reacts by casting a Reality Shift. I respond to a spell by casting an Heroic Intervention. I win this little trade-off and Kelly takes 7 commander damage. Kelly then drops a basic swamp. She then casts a Wood Elves, fetching $50 Canadian, a Breeding Pool and Overground Tomb. She then follow it up with a fitting Gunty, Lord of Luxury. Entering the battlefield, she targets both our opponents, taking a secret card from her top 4s. She then goes to combat. Yarok head to Hugo, and no blocks are declared. We then go to my turn, and because I don't think my choke through, I'll then drop a Flooded Strand. I go to combat and send my Ooze and Corpse Jack to Hugo, and my commander to Kelly. In second main phase, I cast Inspiring Call, drawing 3 cards. I then crack my Flooded Strand, fetching an untapped Godless Shrine, taking 2 damage. I follow it up with a Primordial Hydra where X equals 2. I tap my Run Reef for counters and at my end step, I proliferate. Hugo then casts a Sarkhan, the Masterless. Rashmi triggers and he draws Stomping Ground from the top of his deck. He then land drops the Stomping Ground tapped. He -3 his Planeswalker to create a 4/4 token dragon and pass. Kelly land drops a basic island. She then casts my Sigarda, Host of Herons, from her Gunty. At her end step, I tap Crystalline Crawler for 2 counters and then head into my turn. At my upkeep, my Hydra doubles the number of counters on it, which is also doubled by my Corpsejack Menace. Me and Hugo talks about how the word double should not have been introduced into Magic, and he answers, how about triple? And we laugh in over-the-top Commander green cards. I then land drop a Croissant Verge tap, and follow it up with a Coalition Relic, which I then tap to put a charge counter on it. I head into combat and send my Crystalline, Skoos, and my tiny Hydra to Hugo. He blocks with his Maelstrom plus his Dragon. Reacting to my Crawler being blocked, I use the counters on it to fuel my ooze and exile all my opponent's graveyard, hitting only 1 creature. Atraxa head to Kelly and she blocks with Sigarda. At my end step, I proliferate. Hugo finally finds his second blue mana source, in the form of a Temple of Epiphany. Next turn, Dragon Boy. Next turn, he +1 Sarkhan, transforming it into a 4/4 dragon. Keeping blockers, he does not attack. At his end step, Kelly cracks her expedition map for a Cabal Coffer. Kelly then untaps and land drops the Cabal. She then casts a Genesis Wave where X equals 7. She hit multiple cards. Avenger of Zendikar, Manowar, Zendikar Roy, Eternal Witness, Urborg, and Scavenger Ground. The Avengers create 24 plants and puts 4 counter on them. The Eternal Witness returns Expedition Map and Decree of Pain to her hand. She casts Expedition Map and head to combat for some health. She sends Yarok to me, healing 3. At her end step, I exile Genesis Wave with my Scavenging Ooze. At the beginning of my pre-combat main phase, I get 2 mana from my Coalition Relic and land drop a Forest. I cast Master Biomancer and activate Run Reef to add 2 counters to it. I then cast Atraxa, which enters with 8 counters from the Biomancer. I tap my Coalition Relic for a charge counter, and at my end step, I proliferate. Hugo casts Prime Speaker Zegana. Rashmi triggers and reveal Interland Arbor. He then draws 8 cards from Zegana. After that, he land drops Interland Arbor and end his turn. Kelly evokes Muldrifter, drawing 2. She then land drop a Misty Rainforest, cracking it for a Watery Grave tapped, adding counters to her plants and creating elemental tokens. After that, she casts a Guardian Project and Muldrota the Grave Tide. Kelly cracks her Expedition Map Face Chain Field of the Dead to her hand. She then uses Muldrota to evoke Muldrifter from the graveyard. Finally, she casts a Simic Signet and head into combat. She splits our massive board between me and Hugo, having 24 plants, now 8-9, 4 elementals 2-2, and the rest of our diverse creatures. Hugo, in reaction to declare attackers, casts an overloaded Cyclonic Rift. Kelly is quick to counter it with an Archon Denial. And this is how Kelly wins the game. Or at least, this was what was supposed to happen. You see, during the Genesis Wave, there was a massive misplay, so I created an alternate reality for you, where we are professionals players. If you wish to see what we actually played, hold on tight, we go back 1 turn. Basically, all of Kelly's triggers got doubled by Yarok, except for the Avengers. She created 10 plants instead of 24, and added only 1 counters per land instead of 2 during the following turn. The real attack phase went a little bit like this. Since the Muldrifter got evoked instead of full cast, she was dead on my next swing by Atraxa, and sent everything my way to do the more damage before going. She set the 10 plants, 4 elementals, Eternal Witness, Gunty, Wood Elves, Avenger, Manowar, and Yarok. I block with Corpsejack, Scavenging Ooze, Master Biomancer, Atraxa, and take 34 points of damage after my lifelink. Hugo does not use his Cyclonic Rift as no creatures are heading his ways. I then untap and cast a Doubling Season. Kelly reacts by casting an Archon Denial. I go to combat and looking at Hugo's board, decide to not send anything his way and only take out Kelly, hoping Hugo does not have a board wipe. I send Atraxa to Kelly, kicking her out of the game. But Hugo did. Oh yes, he did. I crack my Crescent Verge and add a charge counter to my relic. Before going to my end step, Hugo casts his overloaded Cyclonic Rift. I do not have any answer and return all of my non-land permanents to my hand. Hugo then land drops a basic island and casts a Sevala's Stampede, a Hugo special. We both pick 3 and he gets to put 2 creatures from his hand, Latlis Dragon Queen and Udvara Elkite. Latlis creates a dragon from the Udvara Elkite entering the battlefield. He follows it up with a Sarkhan's Triumph, fetching a Scourge of Valkas to his hand. He casts the Scourge of Valkas and then -3 Sarkhan for 4/4 dragon. Hugo then goes to combat with his hasty dragons. Udvara triggers and create a 6/6 dragon for each attacking dragons. Then the Scourge will trigger on each of those dragons entering the battlefield, dealing me 10 damage for each tokens created. So I die before Hugo's creature can even touch me with combat damage, which would have added another 30 points of damage. And there you have it, 1 game, 2 endings. You get to pick the one you prefer. Let's say that officially, Hugo is the grand winner of this game. Looking back, we can see the power of Genesis Wave in a deck with almost only permanents. With only 7 mana into the X, Kelly was able to go from an empty board to a game-winning situation. She got somewhat lucky with the cards she got, but that's the game. Risk all your turn to possibly win the game. For myself, I didn't find any card to get my hand filled up. The deck has multiple options like Ristic Study, Rishkar Expertise, or some ongoing draw engine like Zendikar Resurgent and the Great Henge. All of this led to me being very prone to removals. Finally, Hugo had a slow start, starting with only 5 cards in his hand. He made it to his commander, but was missing a second blue to follow it up with his prime speaker Zegana. Hitting that second blue earlier could have helped him close the game a turn or 2 faster. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Make sure to subscribe as we are getting close to 100 subscribers. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter for more day-to-day updates. See you soon and take care.
I really hate Phyrexia.